I wanted to touch basis on one thing. When you get here and you're dating, okay, and I know it's going to be new to a lot of guys that come over here. When you're dating a younger Filipina, you come over here and 90% of the time your finances are going to be way above what they are used to living as. And I've heard a couple other bloggers talk about this. You don't have to spoil the crap out of them with financial means or materials, gifts and things. The best way to go on a date is get here, go up, go to the little eatery and get a piece of chicken and some tempura or some balut if you can stand it, the street food or something. They are used to that, and it lets them know that you are interested in their culture and getting to know who they are, what they're about, getting to know them as Filipinas and not as just, excuse my French, as a piece of ass. They get that here all the time. That most of the girls I meet aren't looking for that kind of guy. The girls that you're going to meet at the club, they don't want to know your name. They're beautiful, but they don't care. They want to know how many pesos you got in your pocket. But the women that are sincerely honest about wanting a relationship want you to be involved in what they know. And when you are presenting gifts and money, a good-hearted Filipina is that she's going to get nervous and that's going to scare her. And so don't bring that to the table. Reserve it for when you get married. If you have that kind of income and that kind of money that you can spoil her, save it until after you know each other, because the real Filipinas here are going to freak out when you start landing them with dresses and rings and bracelets and new hair, and it just scares them. So I would recommend go to dinner. Take her to one of her restaurants. Let her lead you and enjoy the time with her and the different culture. That's why so many guys come to the Philippines. They want to experience the new thing. Let that happen. Don't let your finances become a barrier between you and a girl that may not have a lot. You can go to the Filipino malls where most of the Filipinos and Filipinas shop. And a good example is, I can go and buy a dress and a pair of high-heeled shoes and basically a whole outfit for less than 500 pesos, $10 US. So it's very easy to spoil these girls here, especially when you go to the bigger malls. You're going to pay US prices and sometimes even more for things. But you can come over here and spoil them even on cheap money. Now, my understanding of the way that I've done my research and from what I've found out is we do have a cost of living cap, poverty level. And in order to even get a Filipina to the States, you have to make 125% of that poverty level. So there is a guideline by which, as U.S. citizens, we have to have a certain income in order to get a Filipina that you're married to into the country. My suggestion, if you're coming over here to live for any length of time, stay here. You're going to be happy. It's going to take a while to adjust, but once you've made that adjustment, there's nothing in the United States that a good girl's going to want to leave the Philippines for. You're going to find out most of them have families here. Most of them are extremely close to their families. And in all honesty, what good-hearted guy is going to want to pluck a Filipina out of her family, move her to a foreign country, and especially if he's on a tight budget, put her in a life that she doesn't know, that she's not used to? A 20-year-old girl, are they here with bad intention that want to go to the U.S.? Absolutely. And if a girl's telling you that, I want to go to the U.S., go to the U.S., go to the U.S., go to the U.S., chances are you're going to end in a divorce anyway, and she's going to leave you as soon as she gets to the U.S. The lifestyle here is different. These people are very social. And when you pull a young woman out of her family and you take her somewhere else, if you're not dedicated and completely committed to giving her the necessary attention and providing for her in such a way that she doesn't have to try and struggle while you're struggling, because the Filipino will do that. They'll struggle with you. As hard as it gets, she will stay with you. But there's going to come a point in time in any woman's life, especially a young woman's life that's with an older man. Take her to the U.S. and watch how many 30-year-old businessmen hit on your 22-year-old wife. Okay, so if you're not financially set down in the States, brother, don't take her back there. You're going to lose her anyway eventually if you don't have your life together. If you're on a limited income, come here, live here, be a part of her family. Take a vacation to the States. Have your family come over here if you have the financial means. You know, show her where you're from, but dedicate your life to her. That's why you're coming over here, meeting a young woman. You know, I hear a lot of guys talk about, oh yeah, I want to fall in love with this girl. Prove it. Show it. You know, give your life. You know, guys my age and your age, and a couple other guys I know, we're all older. And we've had a life in the States. Let that girl live her life too, but be a part of her life. You know, let her know that you love her and you care about her, because when you're dead and gone, she may only be in her 30s or 40s. And she's going to have a whole life ahead of her. And if you truly love that Filipina, you're going to come here and you're going to establish a life for her that after you're dead and gone, she is not going to have to struggle. Well, you know, one of the things that I see here, and you can see it in some of the foreigner bars and grills and things that you go to, is you see a 40-year-old Filipino lady that has a couple of foreigner half-mixed kids, and her 80-year-old foreigner passed on, and he left her nothing. And now what does she know? She spent 10, 15, 20 years with a foreigner, okay? And now she's gotten used to this certain lifestyle, but he didn't leave her any means, you know, small businesses, sorry store, you know, a pension plan, any kind of insurance, nothing. And now she's left out on her own at 35. And let me tell you, these Filipino women, even at 35, are beautiful. You know, normally the children are beautiful. And now you've left her here with nothing, and she's trying to struggle at that age to start a new life again. You know? And the guys that come over here aren't looking for 35-year-old women, 40-year-old women. The weekend millionaire is looking for that 18-year-old girl, that 20-year-old girl. From my experience, that 18 or 20-year-old girl is going to be more ragged out than that 35-year-old woman that's stuck with that man, and then he left her. If a woman here, a young, beautiful woman, gives you the best years of her young life, you ought to have the decency to at least leave a legacy and something behind for her and your children. You know, and I don't think a lot of guys think of that when they get here, and they're thinking short term, not long term.